Shalom, family, and welcome back to Covenant Convo with Shaya. We are still in our series, A Covenant People Under Siege, Foreign Domination, Identity Erosion, and the Pattern of Captivity Repeating Throughout the Ages. Last session, we talked about the prophets and prophetesses that came before YaramaYah, how old they were, when they began their ministry, the eras they prophesied in, and the intensity of their ministries. We discussed what that meant for YaramaYah and the similarities, how he continued in the same prophetic lineage. We discussed his experiences as a child, called into a very serious role at a critical time in Yasharalem history and the kingdom of Yehuda. Today, we'll be looking at how YaramaYah's ministry was different from all other prophets in Yasharalem history. As always, let's read our foundational text, Qynahym 5, or Lamentations 5. Remember, O Alua, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand. We get our bread with peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the city of Yehuda. Princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored. They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart is ceased. Our dance is turned into mourning. The crown is fallen from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. For this our heart is faint. For these things our eyes are dim. Because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it. Thou, O Alua, remainest forever. Thy throne from generation to generation. Wherefore dost thou forget us forever and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Eluah, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. But thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us. All right, family, let's get started. So to begin, as we talked about, YaramaYah was between the ages of 12 and 14 when he was called. And he was roughly 17 to 20 when his public ministry began. No other prophet had a ministry structured like his, spiritually, socially, nationally, nor emotionally. Yah forbade YaramaYah to marry or have children of his own. YaramaYah, the 16th chapter, the first of the second verse. Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. That alone sets him apart from every other prophet. Now let's look at the leadership structure YaramaYah battled. Kings, princes, priests, prophets, all corrupt. Number one, let's look at the kings. He confronted Yeshua, a seemingly righteous ruler that instituted reactionary, surface-level reformations, and who was an early ally of YaramaYah. Yeshua ascended the throne at 8 years old after the death of his father, Amon. He inherited a kingdom already steeped in corruption. He is remembered as a righteous king because he removed idols, repaired the house of Yah, and reinstated outward covenant practices. Yet the reforms were largely cosmetic or surface level, failing to penetrate the hearts of the people. Though he honored the Ketah publicly and listened to prophetic instruction, the nation itself did not repent. His reign ended violently at Megiddo, where he confronted Pharaoh Necho against prophetic wisdom and was killed, leaving Yehuda spiritually exposed despite the appearance of reform. Jehoahaz, a wicked ruler, removed by Pharaoh Necho, the same Pharaoh that slew Yeshua. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he was installed by the people of the land, not by Yah's directive following Yeshua's death. Though a son of Yeshua, he did not walk in his father's restrained righteousness and immediately pursued wickedness. His reign lasted only 3 months. It was marked by instability and submission to ungodly influence. Pharaoh Necho swiftly deposed him, placed him in chains, and carried him to Egypt, where he died in captivity, never returning to the land. Jehoiakim, a deeply wicked ruler, known for burning Jeremiah's scroll. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he was placed on the throne by Pharaoh Necho, who changed his name and made him a vassal king, directly severing Yehuda's sovereignty. Unlike his brother, Jehoahaz, Jehoiakim ruled for 11 years, using his power to exploit the people and openly oppose prophetic correction. His most infamous act was burning Jeremiah's scroll, demonstrating contempt not only for the prophet, but for Yah's word itself. His reign ended in disgrace. Jerusalem was besieged. His authority collapsed, and his death occurred without honor. It was a fulfillment of judgment spoken against him. Jehoiakim, or Jehoiakim, another wicked ruler who ultimately surrendered to Babylon. Jehoiakim ascended the throne at 18 years old after the death of his father Jehoiakim, inheriting a kingdom already under Babylonian pressure. His reign lasted only 3 months, during which he continued in wickedness without resistance or repentance. Unlike his predecessors, Jehoiakim surrendered to Babylon, submitting himself, his household, and the elite of Yehuda into captivity. He was carried to Babylon, where he remained imprisoned for decades, marking a decisive transfer of Yehuda's leadership into exile. Zedekiah was a weak, double-minded ruler who feared people more than Yah. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he was installed as king by Nebuchadnezzar, making him a puppet ruler with no independent authority. Though similar to Jehoiakim, he ruled in fear rather than conviction, vacillating between obedience and rebellion. Privately, he consulted Yaramiah while publicly yielding to the people. His defining failure was his double-mindedness, refusing to stand firmly on Yah's instructions. His reign ended in catastrophe. Jerusalem fell. His sons were slain before his eyes, and he was blinded and taken in chains to Babylon, bringing the monarchy to a devastating close. Let's look at how the princes and royal officials treated Jeremiah. They beat him. Jeremiah, the 20th chapter, 1st to the 2nd verse. Now Pashur, the son of Amar, the priest, who was also chief governor in the house of Yah, heard that Jeremiah prophesied these things. Then Pashur smote Jeremiah the prophet and put him in the stocks that were in the high gate of Benjamin, which was by the house of Yah. They imprisoned Jeremiah, Jeremiah, the 37th chapter, 15th through the 16th verses. Wherefore, the princes were wroth with Jeremiah, and smote him, and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe, for they had made that the prison. When Jeremiah was entered into the dungeon and into the cabins, and Jeremiah had remained there many days, they threw him into dungeons. Jeremiah 38:6. Then took they Jeremiah and cast him into the dungeon of Micaiah, the son of Hamalak, that was in the court of the prison. And they let down Jeremiah with cords. And in the dungeon there was no water, but mire. So Jeremiah sunk in the mire. They tried to kill him. Jeremiah 26:8-11. Now it came to pass, when Jeremiah had made an end of speaking all that Yah had commanded him to speak unto all the people, that the priests and the prophets and all the people took him, saying, Thou shalt surely die. Why hast thou prophesied in the name of Yah, saying, This house shall be like Shiloh, and this city shall be desolate without an inhabitant? And all the people were gathered against Jeremiah in the house of Yah. When the princes of Yehudah heard these things, then they came up from the king's house unto the house of Yah, and sat down in the entry of the new gate of Yah's house. Then spake the priests and the prophets unto the princes and to all the people, saying, This man is worthy to die, for he hath prophesied against the city, as ye have heard with your ears. Jeremiah 38:4. Therefore the princes said unto the king, We beseech thee, let this man be put to death, for thus he weakeneth the hands of the men of war that remain in this city, and the hands of all the people, and speaking such words unto them. For this man seeketh not the welfare of this people, but the hurt. Now let's look at the condition of the priesthood. It was corrupt. Jeremiah, the 5th chapter, the 30th through the 31st verse. A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely. The priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. And what will ye do in the end thereof? Jeremiah 6:13. For from the least of them, even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. And from the prophet, even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. Jeremiah 23:11. For both prophet and priests are profane. Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, saith Yah. Lamentations 4:13. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. 2 Chronicles 29:7-8. Also, they have shut up the doors of the porch and put out the lamps, and have not burned incense nor offered burnt offerings in the holy place unto Aluah of Yasharel. Wherefore The wrath of Yah was upon Yehuda and Jerusalem, and he have delivered them to trouble, to astonishment, and to hissing, as ye see with your eyes. They were greedy. Jeremiah 8:10. Therefore will I give their wives unto others, and their fields to them that shall inherit them. For every one from the least even unto the greatest is given to covetousness. From the prophet unto the priest, everyone deals falsely. Idolatrous. Jeremiah 2:8. The priests said not, where is Yah? And they that handle the law knew me not. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit. Jeremiah 23:12-14. Wherefore their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness. They shall be driven on and fallen therein. For I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, said Yah. And I have seen folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesied in Baal and caused my people Yasharel to error. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah. 2 Kings 21:4-7. And he built altars in the house of Yah, of which Yah said, in Jerusalem will I put my name. And he built altars for all the hosts of heaven in the two courts of the house of Yah. And he made his son pass through the fire, and observed times, and used enchantments, and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. He wrought much wickedness in the sight of Yah, to provoke him to anger. And he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house, of which Yah said to David and to Shalama his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all tribes of Yasharel, I will put my name forever. They were complicit in the wickedness, all of them. Jeremiah 32:32 shows the kings, princes, priests, and prophets collectively guilty. Let's read it. Because of all the evil of the children of Yasharel and of the children of Yehuda, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, and the men of Yehuda, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Jeremiah 37:1-2. And King Zedekiah, the son of Yeshua, reigned instead of Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, whom Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon made king in the land of Yehudah. But neither he nor his servants nor the people of the land did hearken unto the words of Yah, which he spake by the prophet YaramaYah. 2 Chronicles 36:14. Moreover, all the chief of the priests and the people transgressed very much after all the abominations of the heathen, and polluted the house of Yah, which he had hallowed in Jerusalem. They were hostile to truth. Lamentations 2:14. Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. They hated YaramaYah because he descended from exiled priests of Anatoth, a family out of favor. False prophets. Let's look at them. False prophets overshadowed the true prophets. There were oftentimes many false prophets versus one true prophet. For example, the showdown between YaramaYah and Hananiah. Hananiah prophesied, Babylon will fall in 2 years. YaramaYah told him, because of his false prophecy, this year you will die. And Hananiah dies exactly as YaramaYah prophesied. You can read the backstory to that in YaramaYah, the 28th chapter, the 1st through the 17th verses. Let's look at the emotional cost of YaramaYah's ministry. He suffered trauma, isolation, grief, and burden. Number one, he's called as a child, as we've talked about. He's socially unprepared. He's not respected. He's emotionally young and spiritually chosen. Number two, he comes from the rejected and exiled priesthood who resided in Anatoth, and his own town tried to kill him. Number three, YaramaYah was forbidden to marry, as we talked about from the top, meaning no wife, no children, no family comfort. YaramaYah 16:5. For thus saith Yah, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament, nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, saith Yah, even loving kindness and mercies. YaramaYah 16:8. Thou shalt not also go into the house of feasting, to sit with them to eat and to drink. And because of the impending judgment on those born in the land, Yah tells YaramaYah not to have children. For this reason, he's left without an immediate legacy. YaramaYah, the 16th chapter, the 3rd through the 4th verse. For thus saith Yah concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths, They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. YaramaYah is committed to a lifelong loneliness. YaramaYah 16:9. For thus saith Yah of hosts, the Alua of Yasharel, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. YaramaYah lived under constant threats. Princes wanted him dead. Priests wanted him silenced. Prophets mocked him. YaramaYah, the 20th chapter and the 7th verse. O Yah, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. Kings imprisoned him. YaramaYah 32:2-3. For then the king of Babylon's army besieged Jerusalem, and YaramaYah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the king of Yehuda's house. For Zedekiah, king of Yehuda, had shut him up, saying, Wherefore dost thou prophesy and say, Thus saith Yah, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. YaramaYah 37:21. Then Zedekiah, the king, commanded that they should commit YaramaYah into the court of the prison, and that they should give him daily a piece of bread out of the baker's street, until all the bread in the city were spent. Thus YaramaYah remained in the court of the prison. YaramaYah lived to see the destruction, and we know why. One, he deserved it. After all that he had gone through, all the mockery, all the abuse he suffered, Yah allowed him to see, not because he was happy to see his people destroyed, but so that he would have that confirmation in his spirit that he would be vindicated in the eyes of the people. Unlike Yeshaya, Amos, Husha, YaramaYah watched his prophecies happen. He saw the temple destroyed, 2 Kings 25:9. And he burnt the house of Yah and the king's house and all the houses of Jerusalem, and every great man's house burnt he with fire. YaramaYah 52:13. And burned the house of Yah and the king's house and all the houses of Jerusalem, and all the houses of the great men burned with fire. Lamentations 2:6. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places of the assembly. Yah hath caused the solemn feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion, and have despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest. He saw the walls broken. 2 Kings 25:10. And all the army of the Chaldees that were with the captain of the guard break down the walls of Jerusalem round about. Jeremiah 39:8. And the Chaldeans burned the king's house and the houses of the people with fire, and break down the walls of Jerusalem. Lamentations 2:8. Yah had purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He had stretched out a line. He had not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore, he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languished together. He saw the city on fire. Lamentations 4:11. Yah hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations thereof. He saw his people slaughtered. Jeremiah 52:10. And the king of Babylon slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes. He slew also the princes of Yehuda in Riblah. Lamentations 2:21. The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Jeremiah saw his own leaders blinded. Jeremiah 52:11. Then they put out the eyes of Zedekiah, the king of Babylon, bound him with chains, and carried him to Babylon and put him in prison to the day of his death. Jeremiah saw the children being taken. 2 Kings 24:14. And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princes, and all the mighty men of valor, even 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained, save the poorest sort of the people of the land. Lamentations 1:5. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. For Yah hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. Lamentations 2:11. Mine eyes do fail with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swoon in the streets of the city. Jeremiah also saw the land emptied. 2 Kings 25:11. Now the rest of the people that were left in the city, and the fugitives that fell away to the king of Babylon, with the remnant of the multitude, did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carry away. 2 Kings 25:12. But the captain of the guard left of the poor of the land to be vine dressers and husbandmen. Jeremiah 39:10. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left of the poor of the people, which had nothing in the land of Yehuda, and gave them vineyards or vineyards and fields at the same time. Jeremiah also saw Yehuda exiled. 2 Kings 25:21. And the king of Babylon smote them and slew them at Riblah in the land of Hamath. So Yehuda was carried away out of their land. Jeremiah 52:27. And the king of Babylon smote them and slew them at Riblah in the land of Hamath. Thus Yehuda was carried away captive out of his own land. Lamentations 1:3. Yehuda is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. So Jeremiah didn't just prophesy it. He saw it. Now let's look what happens to him. Jeremiah is forced into Egypt. Let's look at Jeremiah 43:5. But Yohanan, the son of Korah, and all the captains of the forces took all the remnant of Yehuda that were returned from all nations, whither they had been driven, to dwell in the land of Yehuda, even men and women and children and the king's daughters and every person that Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, had left with Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, and Jeremiah the prophet, and Baruch the son of Neriah. So they came into the land of Egypt, for they obeyed not the voice of Yah. Thus came they even to Tahpanhas. Now, we've seen Jeremiah go from a child to a captive in or an exile in Egypt. Now let's walk it back. How Jeremiah became house prophet. This happens in 7 phases. Right, phase 1, the call. In his youth, he receives divine appointment, words in his mouth, prophetic authority, but he's not yet recognized publicly. Phase 2 is early messages. He begins prophesying against idolatry, corrupt leaders, false prophets, Yehuda's rebellion, and Babylon's rise. Phase 3, confrontation. His reputation grows because he is bold, accurate, uncompromising, confrontational. Leaders fear him, but the people mock him, and no one can ignore him. Phase 4, the scroll of warning that he dictates to Baruch. Jeremiah 36 chapter, the 1st through the 4th verse. And it came to pass in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Yeshua, king of Yehuda, that this word came unto YaramaYah from Yah, saying, take thee a roll of a book, and write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Yasharel, and against Yehuda, and against all the nations, from the day I spake unto thee, from the days of Yeshua, even unto this day. It may be that the house of Yehuda will hear all the evil which I purpose to do unto them, that they may return every man from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. Then YaramaYah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of YaramaYah all the words of Yah, which he had spoken unto him, upon a roll of a book. The scroll is read in the temple. Jeremiah 36, 5-8. And YaramaYah commanded Baruch, saying, I am shut up. I cannot go into the house of Yah. Therefore, go thou and read in the roll which thou hast written from my mouth the words of Yah in the ears of the people in Yah's house upon the fasting day. And also thou shalt read them in the ears of all Yehuda that come out of their cities. It may be they will present their supplication before Yah, and will return every one from his evil way. For great is the anger and the fury that Yah hath pronounced against this people. And Baruch the son of Neriah did according to all that YaramaYah the prophet commanded him, reading in the book the words of Yah in Yah's house. The message reaches the palace. Jeremiah 36, 9-10. And it came to pass in the 5th year of Yahuakim, the son of Yeshua, king of Yehuda, in the 9th month, that they proclaimed a fast before Yah to all the people in Jerusalem, and to all the people that came from the cities of Yehuda unto Jerusalem. Then read Baruch in the book the words of YaramaYah in the house of Yah, in the chamber of Gamariah, the son of Shaphan, the scribe, in the higher court, at the entry of the new gate of Yah's house, in the ears of all the people. Micaiah then recites the words of the scroll to the princes and scribes. Jeremiah 36, 11-18. When Micaiah the son of Gamariah, the son of Shaphan, had heard out of the book of all the words of Yah, then he went down into the king's house, into the scribe's chamber, and lo, all the princes sat there, even Elishama the scribe, and Delaiah the son of Shemaiah, and Alnathan the son of Akbar, and Gamariah the son of Shaphan, and Zedekiah the son of Hananiah, and all the princes. Then Micaiah declared unto them all the words that he had heard, when Baruch read the book in the ears of the people. Therefore, all the princes sent Yehudi, the son of Nathaniah, the son of Shalamayah, the son of Cushi, unto Baruch, saying, Take in thine hand the roll wherein thou hast read in the ears of the people, and come. So Baruch the son of Neriah took the scroll in his hand and came unto them. And they said unto him, Sit down now and read it in our ears. So Baruch read it in their ears. Now it came to pass, when they had heard all the words, they were afraid both one another, and said unto Baruch, We will surely tell the king of all these words. And they asked Baruch, saying, Tell us now, how didst thou write all these words at his mouth? Then Baruch answered them, He pronounced all these words unto me with his mouth, and I wrote them with ink in the book. Baruch is then told he and YaramaYah need to hide. Jeremiah 36:19-21. Then said the princess unto Baruch, Go, hide thee, thou and YaramaYah, and let no man know where ye be. And they went into the king into the court, but they laid up the roll in the chamber of Elishama the scribe, and told all the words in the ears of the king. So the king sent Yehudi to fetch the roll, and he took it out of Elishama the scribe's chamber. And Yehudi read it in the ears of the king, and in the ears of all the princes which stood beside the king. Now, the king's going to be upset and burn the scroll. Jeremiah 36:22-26. Now the king sat in the winter house in the 9th month, and there was a fire on the hearth burning before him. And it came to pass that when Yehudi had 3 or 4 leaves, he cut it with the penknife and cast it into the fire that was on the hearth, until all the roll was consumed in the fire that was on the hearth. Yet they were not afraid, nor rent their garments, neither the king nor any of his servants that heard all the words. Nevertheless, Elnathan and Delaiah and Gamariah had made intercession to the king that he would not burn the roll, but he would not hear them. But the king commanded YaramaYah, the son of Hamalak, and Sariah, the son of Azrael, and Shalamayah, the son of Abdal, to take Baruch the scribe and YaramaYah the prophet, but Yah hid them. Now Yah commands YaramaYah to rewrite it, and this elevates him to national awareness. Jeremiah 36:27-32. Then the word of Yah came to YaramaYah after that the king had burned the roll, and the words which Baruch wrote at the mouth of YaramaYah, saying, Take thee again another roll, and write in all the former words that were in the first roll, which Jehoiakim the king of Yehuda hath burned. And thou shalt say to Jehoiakim, king of Yehuda, Thus saith Yah, Thou hast burned this roll, saying, Why hast thou written therein, saying, The king of Babylon shall certainly come and destroy this land, and shall cause to cease from thence man and beast? Therefore, thus saith Yah of Jehoiakim, king of Yehuda, He shall have none to sit upon the throne of David, and his dead body shall be cast out in the day to the heat, and in the night to the frost. And I will punish him and his seed and his servants for their iniquity. And I will bring upon them and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem and upon the men of Yehuda all the evil that I have pronounced against them. But they hearkened not. Then took YaramaYah another roll and gave it to Baruch the scribe, the son of Neriah, who wrote therein from the mouth of YaramaYah all the words of the book which Jehoiakim king of Yehuda had burned in the fire, and there were added besides unto them many like words. How he became the national prophet. Phase 5. Babylon arrives. When Babylon arrives, prophecies begin to manifest. And people say, as it relates to YaramaYah, this is the man Yah sent. Phase 6. Zedekiah's reign. Zedekiah repeatedly seeks YaramaYah secretly. YaramaYah becomes the de facto house prophet, the official prophetic voice of the kingdom. Stage 7. The final stage. During the siege, princes question him. King sends delegations. Priests try to silence him. False prophets attack him. People start to seek his counsel. He becomes the singular prophetic authority left in the land. Now, what made his ministry unique? YaramaYah was not sent to prevent judgment. He was sent to document covenant violations, expose leadership corruption, declare Babylon as Yah's judgment, explain why exile was unavoidable, prepare the remnant, record national grief, and serve as witness to Yah's righteousness. He ministered at the final stage of national collapse. Number 1, he watched erosion in real time. He lived long enough to see monarchy fall, temple desecrated, priesthood corrupted, foreigners in control, the city burned, and people enslaved. Number 2, he became the national historian of suffering. Qynahym is not poetry. It is legal testimony from inside foreign domination. Number 3, he documents a pattern identical to modern freedmen captivity. Greek infiltration, Roman oppression, Portuguese and Spanish takeover, Atlantic slavery, American freedmen captivity, modern demographic replacement. All right, family. So there's 2 additional pieces of information that I want to give you before we get out of here for this session. YaramaYah had no legitimate children, as we know. He had no wife. He produced no heirs. But his scribes served as his adopted sons. So let's talk about them briefly. Baruch and Shariah, 2 different spiritually adopted sons of YaramaYah's house. Number 1, Baruch. Baruch is his scribe and court representative. Baruch was a scribe, a record keeper, a scroll writer, a court messenger, a traveling companion, and a voice to the kings. YaramaYah 36:4, we see where Baruch wrote exactly what YaramaYah dictated. Baruch is not an independent prophet. He is the official recorder of YaramaYah's Katak. The book of Baruch is written after destruction. It's reflective, prayerful, historical. Baruch's composition is shaped by YaramaYah, but it is not YaramaYah's original scroll or a lost chapter or any part of his prophetic Katak. It preserves YaramaYah's tone, not his dictation. YaramaYah has 2 scrolls. The first scroll burned by Jehoiakim. The second scroll rewritten by command of Yah. This second scroll forms part of the book of YaramaYah. Shariah, the prophetic executor. YaramaYah 51, 59 through 64 tells us that he was chief chamberlain, a royal officer, a prophetic courier, and an executor of judgment acts. He delivered YaramaYah's prophecy in Babylon, then tied a stone to the scroll and threw it into the Euphrates. His name means one who presses forth what is foremost through his works, revealing it openly. Baruch writes it, Shariah performs it. Let's look at a relationship summary. Baruch is an inward worker. Shariah is an outward worker. Baruch is a recorder. Shariah is an executor. Baruch is domestic messenger. Shariah is international judgment carrier or courier. 2 sons of the same prophetic household fulfilling different roles. Now, the second thing that I wanted to address. YaramaYah has 2 known books. The book of YaramaYah and Qynahym. The book of YaramaYah comes first. It warns before destruction. Qynahym, the second book, is eyewitness account after destruction. He prophesies, he watches it happen, he weeps. He documents the stages of foreign takeover. 2 books, 2 halves of the same trauma. The book of YaramaYah, Yah is about to destroy this city. The book of Qynahym, everything Yah said has now happened. In our next session, we're going to talk about what YaramaYah inherited, a land on the brink of exile. So we're going to step back in time and walk it forward to see exactly what demographic changes took place in Jerusalem and in the southern kingdom of Yehuda before Babylon completely destroyed it. I hope this message has been a blessing to you, family. I love you. Stay blessed, stay healed, stay delivered, and stay set free. I will see you again next time.